Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. Most Nigerians have been anticipating that this will come, but nobody believed that it will come this early, as the alliance forged by Wike, the city minister, and Mr. President in Presidency, Asorock, is beginning to show cracks here and there, as there's been a lot of withholding of so many authorities, so many privileges, and Wike is definitely reacting in a subtle manner. How long this will last, we do not know, but let's dive into the full details to understand exactly the dynamics of what is going on in Asorock, as more details are definitely springing up. But before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel. Said the appointment of Judge Amopotan as the Nigerian new INEC chairman had deepened the growing rift between the Federal Capital Territory Minister Wike and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and further exposing the fragile alliance at the heart of the administration. According to insider accounts, the disagreement has become so severe that Wike boycotted the Council of State meeting in protest, sending the Minister of State for the FCT in his place. He is also believed to have reached out to several former Nigerian heads of state, urging them to stay away from the meeting, a move that widened the cracks already visible within Tinubu's inner circle. Wike's political decline began shortly after human rights activist Omoyele Sowore publicly exposed his undeclared real estate holdings in Florida, USA. Now, these revelations sent shockwaves through his family and political network. Before the expose, Wike had just returned from a medical trip to the UK, that's United Kingdom, where he reportedly received treatment for a heart infection. Energized and combative, he resumed his long-standing feud with Governor Sim Fubara, his political prodigy turned adversary, after orchestrating efforts that removed him from office for 6 months. However, Wike's renewed confidence soon crumbled during one of his public tirades. He threatened Sowore for calling President Tinubu a criminal, a remark Sowore made on social media in response to Tinubu's infamous statement in Brazil that Nigeria was no longer corrupt, as in no corruption in Nigeria, he quoted. Now, Wike's arrogant claim that Sowore was lucky Tinubu believes in the rule of law and would one day encounter someone who did not only inflame the activist resolve. Now, he continued. The confrontation prompted Sowore to release damning evidence of Wike's corruptly acquired foreign and hidden local assets, igniting widespread outrage and drawing the attention of the presidency itself. In the aftermath, Tinubu's trusted advisors began to reassess Wike's role in government, concluded that he had become too erratic and politically toxic to be trusted with sensitive national matters. Wike had reportedly pushed hard for Justice Abdullahi Mohammed Liman, a justice of the Court of Appeal, to be appointed as INEC chairman. He secured clearances for him through several security agencies, confident that Tinubu would approve. But following mounting skepticism within the presidency, Liman's candidacy was quietly dropped. Now, according to Sahara reporters, they also learned that Liman and Wike are so close that he once blocked security agencies from reaching his house in 2016. Tinubu instead appointed Judge Amopotan, a lawyer and a legal scholar from the University of Jos. Tinubu is said to have told close allies and aides that Wike was too unstable and untrustworthy to influence the leadership of Nigeria's electoral body. The breakdown of trust soon extended to media control and censorship. After Governor Fubara's reinstatement, Tinubu reportedly ordered Wike to suspend his monthly media briefings, arguing that his combative tone was damaging the administration's image. Furious, Wike appealed to Chief of Staff Femi Gbajabiamila, warning that silencing him would only make Sowore too powerful. The exchange reflected the degree to which Sowore's expose had undermined Wike's standing with the presidency. Amid the turmoil, Wike allegedly approached the Code of Conduct Bureau, that CCB, to amend his asset declaration, seeking to include the properties exposed in Florida and elsewhere. But officials reportedly told him that the original document had been forwarded to the EFCC, leaving him politically vulnerable and deeply unsettled and betrayed. His growing frustration culminated in Thursday's Council of State meeting, where most former heads of state conspicuously boycotted the session. Presidency insiders suggest that Wike played a role in orchestrating the boycott to demonstrate his displeasure with the appointment of Amoputan. According to sources, the meeting's agenda initially made no mention of an INEC appointment, but Tinubu allegedly sprung that surprise by asking the governor of Kogi State, Ahmed Ododo, to present Amoputan for confirmation. Caught off guard, attendees had no choice but to endorse the appointment. The unfolding drama marks a new phase in the uneasy relationship between Tinubu and Wike. What began as a strategic alliance built on mutual political convenience has now metamorphosed into a cold war of influence, suspicion, and retribution. Now this is getting very interesting. Most Nigerians believe that at some point something will give. This is of course coming from Sahara reporters, and all of this thing playing out. Of course, we also noticed that during that as a Council of Head of State meeting, there was quite a lot of boycott. But some persons believe that boycott because some of the policies of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not sitting well with most Nigerians. That some of the past presidents are in tune with the sufferings of Nigerians, and they believe that, to some extent, maybe their boycott could send a signal. But now we are getting here and there authentic information from Sahara reporters where they got the insider information that it goes beyond that Wike is definitely now beginning to plot against the very hand that has been keeping him afloat. But now the question now is, if this moves beyond this level, will the presidency will it be willing to throw Wike under the bus? Don't forget that Wike still has a very strong influence, at least when it comes to Rivers State. But then again, does Wike really have influence in Rivers State? Judging the fact that now that the president have direct touch and contact with Fubara, and if Fubara pledges to give him all the support he needs, and Fubara has a lot of supporters who are on ground to make things happen for him, this can easily spiral out of control for Wike. And don't forget that it doesn't take the presidency anything to redeploy Wike from being an FCT minister to become maybe a minister of one of these ministries that is not so loud. To start with, one of the things that make Wike looks almost invisible and untouchable is whenever he grants that his media pally, giving the impression that he's in charge, not just in FCT, but also he has to a great extent a great level of control in presidency. Because let's tell ourselves the truth, how many of these ministers grant media pally every other month? Apart from David Umahi, that is kind of popular, I think you have very limited ministers that are as popular and as outspoken as Nyesom Wike. But of course, we are keeping our fingers crossed to watch as this latest info unfolds, this Cold War. I just hope that Wike would understand the dynamics and the odds against him and quickly adjust whatever influence or adjust whatever attitudinal issues he's having with Mr. President. That's where we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in that conversation. What's your take?